Mhm.
Hello, beautiful people. How are you today? We're back on podcast number 14, and my guest today is Jeff Reynolds from Texas, USA. And yes, I'm so pleased with my new podcast name, Relax and Raunchy Relationship. So it's not too long, it's a bit more, poppy sort of sound.
Mhm.
And the intention of me doing this podcast is to support other business owners, whether it's local or global, especially during the coronavirus lockdown. It started then, but now we're slowly going out of the lockdown and starting our new normal. Still, I would love to support other business owners and have fun as well. Typically, as business owners, we project our professional side, our knowledgeable side, but then what about our fun side? That's why I started this podcast. All right. So, my guest today is Jeff Reynolds. He is a chiropractor, acupuncturist, YouTuber, podcaster, musician, music producer. Oh my God, is there anything that you can't do?
No, there isn't. I can do everything.
Very talented man. And I just stalked him yesterday on YouTube. He was
Mhm.
making kataifi. Oh, it makes
Mhm.
dribble.
Mhm.
So simply Jeff is a professional YouTuber since 2010 with over 1 million subscribers and 1 billion views. And the reason why I asked him to be my guest is simply because some of my audience, they're business owners, and perhaps they haven't dabbled into YouTube as a platform, to accelerate their success or their business. Hence, I am curious to find out your tips later.
And for all that, and for all you guys that are listening, I'd like to introduce my host, and she is Ingrid Galloway. She's the founder, relationship coach, and CRO, and that is Chief Relaxation Officer of KAHYANGAN. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Perfect. Yay.
Perfect. Yes. She has been a relationship coach for 11 years, a spa therapist for 21 years, mainly in five-star hotel day spas in Sydney, Australia. Um, so she is used to looking after thousands of highly stressed clients from all over the planet. She practices from Kayangan in Five Dock and from clients' homes, offices, hotel rooms, and online. Her work always focuses on stress, relaxation, and relationships. She has a kind soul, always seeking to reach out and support the healing process for the many stressed people, broken and lonely hearted singles, stressed out parents, and loving couples that cross her path. She does one on one coaching sessions, workshops, and wellness work programs for companies to create better engagement and harmony for their team members. So if you, and we're in I don't know how many words this is, five or less. If you are stressed out, she will help you. That's 6 words. I was close. That was a good guess.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much for the warm welcome introduction. Now, Jeff, I have a question for you. What
Mhm.
is your why? Why do you do what you do? I mean, at the moment, you want to focus more on YouTube, but before YouTube, you're a chiro, acupuncture,
Mhm. Mhm.
you're also a part-time musician. So, yeah, why do you do what you do?
I guess for several reasons. I love what I do.
Mhm.
I am a creative person, so this, gives me an outlet to create,
Yep.
and it gives me a lifestyle to lead, which is very unique. And and I can actually, earn money doing it. So it's kind of a bonus in all of those ways.
Fabulous. I'm
Hmm.
actually liking this lockdown period simply because my husband's working from home and
Hmm.
it's just so good. Like he can do the kids drop off, kids pick up. Now we are back at school, previously
Hmm.
homeschooling.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. So I'm liking this. I don't know whether I can go back to the previous normal, the new normal. I'm liking it.
With that, welcome to my world. That's it. I mean,
Yeah.
I am always at home.
Yes.
I don't drive to work.
Hmm.
You know, my wife and I get along great. So, you know, we work well together. And actually, even in the old days when I had my office, she used to work at my office. So we've always worked together.
Together.
Uh,
Yeah.
and, you know, there's an old movie that I watched. I don't know if you know this old movie. It was with Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
I think it was called Point Break. It was like in maybe the late 80s and they were bank robbers.
Yeah.
But
I
he
didn't
had
watch
told,
that one, but I
it's a
remember
very
it
famous
was
movie,
much. Yes.
but he had a certain line in there that he said, everybody just drives their steel coffins to work and back every day.
Isn't that right?
And, and so, but you know, this has, you know, there is a lot of pressure and stress with this job as well.
Yeah.
So it isn't, it, people say YouTuber and think it's all fun and games, but if you do it as a career, you're always, your mind is always thinking about the next video
That's
as well
right.
as this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess that's the downside of having our own businesses, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
As a business owner, we always think or be consumed about our business, because we have
Mm-hmm.
to do the marketing side of things. Apart, well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very hands-on sort of person. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
naturally great in marketing, but I have to do it as well because it's my business.
Mm-hmm. Plus, you have to be hands-on if you're doing massage,
Of course, yes.
right?
And when I coach people, of course, I have to be.
Yeah, right. So why do you do relationship coaching and massage?
Yeah, because, well, I came from a very religious set of parents back in
What religion?
Christian.
Christian, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And I observed them how they, communicate with each other. I learned a few things that how not to communicate with my partner. So
How not
sometimes
to.
how
Interesting.
not to, yes, how not to. And then how living through your kids can be so damaging for your kids. So
Interesting.
yeah, that's why I'm really keen to go to do my own inner work tomorrow with my husband because I
Hmm.
feel that some remnants from my childhood on how
Mm-hmm.
my mother used to live through me still bothering me to this point. So,
Hmm.
I'm not perfect. I am human. I
Right.
admit that I have to keep doing my inner work to be
Mm-hmm.
able to help others. And then I left Indonesia in 1996 to get married to my ex-husband.
Mm-hmm.
After 10 years, I left because it was an abusive relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
then I lost everything material like properties, um,
Mm-hmm.
furniture, and then I
Mm-hmm.
gained fun stuff such as depression,
Wow.
anxiety,
Yes.
um, and but the good thing is I gained me back. So I gained my freedom. I
Mm-hmm.
am allowed to be the real Ingrid, not
Mm.
the Ingrid that someone else want me to be. You know?
Yeah. And do you mind if I ask you a couple personal questions?
Yeah, yeah, go for it.
Did you, when you got married, did you marry an Indonesian man and live in Indonesia, or did you marry an Australian and move and live in Australia?
Well, he's Australian citizen, but he was
Hmm.
adopted by a Scottish Australian man
Okay.
and his own auntie. So he was adopted.
He wasn't
Yeah, but
adopted,
but
but he
but he's
was,
Indonesian. Yeah, he's Indonesian by blood.
oh, but he was
Yeah,
adopted by
adopted
Australians
by Australians.
and
Yes,
lived in Australia.
correct. Yes.
Very interesting. So he was culturally Australian, would you
Um,
say? Because she, I would assume you're culturally, whoever raises you, you kind of learn from your parents
he's kind
and
of,
family.
yeah, he's kind of both, but he's very set in his ways, I guess.
Hmm.
And he wanted to change me, and I'm the being the rebellious me.
Hmm.
It's very hard to sort of like contain.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, after our divorce, I went on to my self healing, self development journey. So
Mm,
I went to see a couple of therapists, went to self development seminars, went back to college to study counseling and life coaching. And straight
mm.
away, I knew that I would be a coach, not a counselor. And straight away, I
Okay.
knew that my niche would be in relationship. And so, yeah, I'm very passionate to help and support others in similar sort of predicament. Um,
Mhm.
whether people have high level of stress, some level of depression, some level of anxiety, so then they can heal and they can build good relationship. Now I've been married for 12 years with my
Mhm.
second husband, hopefully last husband, and I have two kids. So yeah,
Mhm.
we feel very happy together.
That's great.
Yeah.
Uh, do you enjoy coaching more or massage more?
I love both, but
Mm,
having done massage for 21 years, it definitely tears my body apart.
sure.
Yeah, so
I'm sure you.
I would love to do more coaching than massage, but I love both.
Right. Oh,
I'm
that's
very
great.
blessed that I do what I love. Very blessed.
Right.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah. And next question I want to ask you: do you have
Mhm.
3 tips to have a successful YouTube channel?
Wow, that is a big question. Nowadays, YouTube is so much more competitive and a completely different world than when I started many years ago. I've actually done it even before Google bought it. I mean, I go way back to 2006 and they
Mm,
bought it in sometime 2006 and there wasn't even money involved, I think, until 2010. So it was just people who like to just, put up stuff. But anyways, three tips. One is unless you really know what type of content you want to produce,
mm,
then produce all kinds of stuff until you find what works.
mm.
And maybe even within that little niche, let's say if you do cooking content,
Yeah.
um, you may want to even experiment in that, I mean, in that niche itself. Like, you only make desserts? Do you only make healthy food? Do you only point the camera at the food and you just show your hands, or do you show you and showing the food all together? There's so many different situations. So again, so you've kind of got to play with what you're doing until you kind of keep experimenting, I would say, until you find what works. And once you find what works, stay there
Yeah, just
and
like
keep.
cooking, because cooking there's a lot of experimentation there.
Mhm. Yes, exactly. So that's tip number one. Another tip is it takes time. It
Mm,
takes time. Some people get lucky and immediately stuff starts taking off.
yep.
I would think nowadays there's so many YouTubers that it takes time. So don't give up. I mean, just keep going at it, and even leads to tip number three is you've kind of got to love it. If you just think you're going to make quick money, then it's probably not going to work, and it's probably not for you.
Yeah.
I want to leave the door open because anything is possible.
Mhm.
But and if you want to do it for a lifetime, I mean, or a long time, you've got to, like it, or you'll be at another, like someone else who just hates their job, right?
Yes, you gotta
You don't
love.
want to be, even if you're successful at it, but if you hate doing it,
Yep.
then
It becomes a
right,
chore rather than
right,
enjoyment. Yeah, because
right.
we spend so much time at work, right?
Yes.
Better love what we do.
Hmm. And can you give us 3 tips on how to be relaxed right now during these COVID times?
Right. Well, actually, I want to give 3 tips about relationship.
Okay. How about COVID relationship
Yeah.
problems?
I'll say understanding the warning signs, right?
Hmm.
It is to be expected that your partner or yourself may be showing some symptoms of distraction, being distracted
Hmm.
by so many things, so we can't focus on our work.
Right.
Maybe sometimes we become short tempered for whatever reason. So I'll say maybe that is because they haven't been connected with their highest values enough. Say, for
Okay.
example, I'll give an example. My husband loves fitness, so he loves exercising. But
Hmm.
then, when I love having him around because then I can ask him for more help.
Hmm.
Hey, can you
Yeah.
help me with this? Can you help me with that? But then
Right.
when he goes and do those, then he doesn't have enough time to exercise, and then he
Hmm.
get starting,
He gets
I think,
cranky.
yeah, definitely getting cranky. And right, yeah, okay, you haven't exercised today. All right, you go and do your thing. Number
Mm-hmm.
two is to have a win-win mindset going into relationship. If
Mm.
you want to do absolutely what you normally did back then when you're single, be single.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it takes
Yeah.
compromise to have a healthy and long and loving relationship. I learned from one couple of my clients back then when I was working in five-star hotel day spa. They came to the day spa to celebrate their 60th wedding anniversary, and I said, "Oh
Wow.
wow, what's your success secret in your
Mm-hmm.
relationship?" And he said, "Compromise." And I tend to agree with that. So we
Mm-hmm.
gotta compromise to a degree, but then we come into the relationship with a win-win mindset. Say, for example, if your partner is having some money issue, okay, you can come to them and say, how can I help you? Because when you earn money, when I earn money, all in all, it's for us, the household. It's not just for you, it's not just for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so how can we support each other? So win-win mindset is tip number two. And then
Mm-hmm.
tip number three is on a date night or a date day, especially if you are working together, don't talk about business.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe if you parent together all the time, don't talk about kids. Talk about something else apart from those two things,
Mm-hmm.
because then you get to jazz up your relationship, talking about a book, maybe about a movie, something else,
Mm-hmm.
that may inspire, re-inspire your relationship. So it's not, oh, here we go, we talk about business again. Oh, here we go, we talk about kids again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's great. I mean, I really liked especially tip number two, where you said, well, if I can paraphrase, but basically,
yeah,
if you want to live a single lifestyle, then don't get married. If you're going to get
yes,
married, then you're going to be a different lifestyle. You're not
yeah,
going out to clubs and bar. Well, I guess some couples may go out to clubs and bars together, but
yeah, yeah. No judgment. Of course, you can go if you both want to go do like clubbing. Go for
yeah,
it. Have fun.
yeah,
Definitely.
right, right, yeah. That's good advice. Thank you.
Pleasure. So, I have two statements from Jeff here, true or false. This is where we have fun. Uh, let's guess with me, audience. Jeff were on the Jerry Springer show, or statement number two, Jeff were on the Ellen DeGeneres show. So I would choose statement number one because it's more juicy. I watched Jerry Springer ages ago, many years ago,
Mhm,
and wow, talking about raunchiness, his show definitely was
mhm.
raunchy.
Yeah, I was actually on the show and I was there with four of my ex-girlfriends all at the same time, and they were all fighting over me, and they got in one giant fight in front of everybody. It was amazing.
And Steve, the
And
bodyguard,
Steve
separated you guys.
separated me, and Jerry came and high-fived me and said, "You are the most awesome man I've ever met." I said, "I know, Jerry, I know. Now move out of the way and let me host the show."
Yeah, that's right.
In all seriousness, I was kind of on the show by we made a music video way back in the late 90s, and we sent it to him. This is, way before internet, YouTube, of course, because I didn't come out to 2005. So this is the late 90s. We just shot some little video in my apartment, kind of a campy, funny song. It was like about the song's called Jerry Springer Fan, and you probably can find it on YouTube. I think it's on my channel called Jeff Mara.
Mhm.
So if you put Jeff Mara, Jeffmara, and Jerry Springer Fan, you'll see that, that old video there. It's kind of really, you know, terribly done. It's not terribly, but just really basic, similar done. Just a kind of a crazy campy video, but he actually played it on the show. It was really cool. And they kind of they kind of like introduced the video, like singing and dancing along with it. And then they played the
Yeah.
video. So it was really cool. And it was just kind of it was a really fun thing.
Wonderful. So you get a moment of famousness at Jerry's Finger Show.
Yes. All right, I have two true or false statements for Ingrid here. Now, one is Ingrid's daughter broke the family toilet, or was it Ingrid's husband who did it? For me, I would think it's her husband. But what does Ingrid say?
Husband guess is incorrect because it was actually my daughter who broke the family toilet.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, no.
So here comes the story. So we used to have this small clock from Tasmania, of the map of Tasmania in our old house. And we didn't have any other clock apart from that little one because normally we just use our mobile phones to tell time. Anyway, so she went to the toilet and she accidentally knocked it over into the toilet. And she kind of like, don't know what to do. Oops. She flushed it and then unfortunately got stuck. At that time, my mother-in-law from Tasmania, she came and visited us, and she tried to put on the dishwashing glove, tried to retrieve the bloody clock, and it was really stuck. So she called me at work. She said, Ingrid, don't get mad with your daughter. She actually, knocked over the toilet, the clock into the toilet, and I tried to retrieve it, but I couldn't. It was just stuck. And we just kept doing our business, from that day, pooing, peeing, and eventually it was overflown.
Wow.
And we had to call in the plumber. Well, $700 later, that clock becomes the most expensive clock ever because we had to replace the whole toilet. Yes, it got really, really stuck. And the plumber said, I found the culprit.
Uh-oh. It's interesting. You would think that they could just break it. Toilets are porcelain. They're very hard. You would think they could somehow, kind of, I don't know, what was the clock made out of?
Wood.
Wood.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So
terrible.
it was the perfect size and shape to actually block the toilet somehow. So
Oh, man.
it was a
Darn it.
painful experience.
Oh, I bet. Yes. Painful to your pocket.
But painful to the pocket, definitely.
Yes.
Now, Jeff, I have one last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do to relax or to add raunchiness to your relationship?
Well, we have such a fast-paced lifestyle that we really just try to relax. So, and again, working from home, and we don't work a traditional 9 to 5 hours. I mean, we'll work for a while, then maybe we'll go out and do some shopping, and then we'll come home and work, and then we'll maybe cook and clean and help children with their homework, and then we go back later and maybe work a little more. And so really to relax, we just kind of just chill out and watch TV. Like after the kids go to bed, we'll just kind of hang out and watch TV. Sometimes we watch too much, which maybe is doing the opposite of relaxing, because now if we start binging, it gets late and we're freaking out because oh my gosh, we got to get up in 4 hours.
Yes.
Why did we do this? But generally, yeah, that's kind of what we do, is we just kind of like to chill out and watch TV. So,
Wonderful.
And what about you? What do you like to do?
Well, one tip to add raunchiness in our relationship, I guess, to sleep naked.
Okay.
Yes.
I never would consider that raunchy, though.
Well, a lot of couples don't sleep naked. So, yeah, sometimes, if you want to add that raunchiness to the relationship, we just remind ourselves, okay, we haven't slept naked for a while now. Let's do that, because sometimes nothing happened, but sometimes things happen. One thing led to another, and there you go, you add juiciness into the relationship, and it's not bad at all.
Well, if your husband is saying no, maybe if your husband hears you tell him, "Would you like to sleep naked tonight?" That's kind of a cue of little something something may go on.
So So, beautiful people, we come to the end of our podcast this time. Thank you so much for watching and listening to our collaboration today. And we hope you learned a thing or two about, practical things that you can do to de-stress or make you more relaxed or add raunchiness into your relationship and empower yourself in what you do today and beyond. If you need more support in finding out, how to be a bit more successful in your YouTube channel, please ask Jeff. How can they connect with you, Jeff?
Well, I have a lot of channels named after me and my wife, which is Jeff Mara. So I have my original Jeff Mara channel. I have Jeff Mara Kitchen, which is our cooking. I have Jeff Mara Podcast, which is my podcast.
Uh-huh.
So if you, um, we also have our main kind of action. It's called Happy Family 1004. And, either one of those, that's our biggest channel with over 1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you find any one of those and just go to a video and just leave us a comment on a video, you can, I generally check the comments very regularly. So I'll
Okay.
probably find it and answer you.
Yeah. Fabulous.
And,
Thank you.
and likewise, how would people find you, Ingrid?
Right. So they can go to my website, www.kahyangan.com.au. So that's KAHYANGAN.
Okay.
.com.au. So you can ask to book a call, to ask more questions, and just pop your details there. Easy.
Oh,
So
great.
please like and subscribe my YouTube channel, Ingrid Galloway, and I look forward to connect with you next time. I have more uplifting and fun chat, just like this one, with more local and global business owners, because I really believe that this is the perfect time for us to connect and support each other as human beings. So keep well and lots of love. Thanks
Thank,
so much, Jeff.
thank you for having me. Bye, everyone.